There are libraries built of stone, and there are libraries woven into the fabric of reality. Egypt called him Thoth, scribe of the gods, measure of time, keeper of the balance. Some say he did more than record history. He guarded where history is stored, not in scrolls, not in tombs, but in a field of living memory the ancients could touch, and that modern seekers call the Akashic Records. Tonight, we follow the trail, from temple walls to hidden houses of knowledge, from the Hermetic lines of the Emerald Tablet to the whispered halls of Amenti. If Thoth truly stands at the threshold of cosmic memory, the question isn't whether the records exist. It's why he guarded them, and why now, across the world, so many are feeling the door begin to open. Stay with me. By the end of this journey, you'll see why Thoth's oldest lesson might be the most urgent message of our time, and how to approach the page that writes itself. The word Akashic comes from Akasha, a Sanskrit term meaning ether, space, or the subtle substance that underlies all things. In ancient Indian thought, Akasha was the field from which light, sound, and even thought emerged. Centuries later, mystics and visionaries began speaking of a cosmic library, a field of energy where every thought, word, and deed was recorded, not just of humans, but of civilizations, planets, and stars. A memory bank of the universe itself. In the late 1800s, theosophists like Helena Blavatsky gave this vision a name, the Akashic Records. Rudolf Steiner would later call it the Akasha Chronicle, describing how trained seers could read the story of the world imprinted in this subtle field. And the famous sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce claimed to access these records to reveal people's past lives and hidden truths. But here's the twist. While the phrase Akashic Records is modern, the concept of a universal memory isn't new. The Egyptians believed that every action was weighed against Ma'at, the principle of truth and cosmic order. Thoth, the divine scribe, stood at the scales, recording not just what you did, but who you became through it. So when we say Akashic Records, we're not only speaking of mystical visions from the last few centuries, we're touching on an ancient idea that existence itself keeps a record, and that wisdom lives in the very fabric of creation. And this is where Thoth comes in. For the Egyptians, he wasn't just a scribe, he was the one who kept reality accountable. He ensured the cosmic records stayed balanced, and that no truth was lost. Imagine it, a field of memory, guarded by the God of wisdom himself. A living archive, invisible yet accessible, where the story of every soul is inscribed in light. But if such a cosmic record truly exists, the question is, how did Thoth, an Egyptian god, come to be seen as its guardian? To answer that, we need to return to the temples of Egypt, and to the real role of Thoth as keeper of balance and divine record. To understand why later mystics called Thoth the guardian of cosmic records, we have to go back, far back, to the temples of ancient Kem, the land we now call Egypt. Thoth was not just another god among many. He was the beating heart of wisdom itself, the one who gave humanity the gift of language, numbers, astronomy, and sacred timekeeping. He was the scribe of the gods, the one who recorded the outcome of every judgment in the afterlife. When a soul left the body, it entered the hall of Ma'at. There, its heart was weighed against the feather of truth. And who was it that stood with the scales, ensuring that nothing was hidden? Thoth. With his reed pen and sacred scrolls, he recorded the eternal truth of every soul. Not what you claimed, not what others said, but the reality of who you had become. This is more than mythology. It's a blueprint of accountability. The Egyptians believed that nothing could be erased. Every thought, every word, every action was written into the eternal record. Doesn't that sound strikingly close to the modern idea of the Akashic Records? Even on Earth, Thoth's presence as a record keeper was reflected in the Per Ankh, the House of Life, a library and temple archive where priest scribes stored sacred texts, healing knowledge, and cosmic wisdom. For the Egyptians, to preserve knowledge was not just a duty, it was a holy act. So imagine Thoth not only keeping the ledgers of human lives, but guarding the very order of the cosmos. Without him, Ma'at, the principle of balance, could collapse. Chaos would swallow harmony, and truth itself would vanish. This is why later mystics saw Thoth not just as a scribe, but as the gatekeeper of memory itself. If reality had a library, Thoth was its eternal librarian. But the story doesn't end in Egypt. Over time, Thoth's image merged with another figure, the Greek Hermes. And when two traditions fused, a new stream of wisdom emerged. The Hermetica, the Emerald Tablet, and the mysterious halls of Amenti, said to hold the very secrets of existence itself. As centuries passed, Egypt's wisdom did not stay within its borders. When Greek culture encountered the Nile, something extraordinary happened. Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe, was merged with Hermes, the swift-footed messenger of the gods. This fusion gave birth to Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice-great Hermes. Out of this union came the Hermetica, a body of mystical texts that spoke of the soul's ascent, the hidden laws of creation, and the unity of the cosmos. The most famous of these writings is the Emerald Tablet, a short but powerful work that contained the cryptic axiom, "As above, so below, as within, so without." These words became the cornerstone of alchemy, magic, and spiritual philosophy for centuries. And though brief, the Emerald Tablet hinted at knowledge far beyond human comprehension, a code that linked heaven and earth. But here's where the story takes a stranger turn. In the 20th century, new writings surfaced, the so-called Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, attributed to a mystic named Maurice Doreal. These tablets spoke of the halls of Amenti, vast chambers beneath the pyramids where Thoth preserved not only human memory, but the very wisdom of the universe. While historians see this as modern mythology, seekers interpret it as a continuation of Thoth's role as a guardian of records. Whether symbolic or real, the halls of Amenti became a vision of the cosmic archive itself, a place where the blueprint of humanity's destiny is safeguarded, waiting for the worthy to enter. So across cultures, Egyptian, Greek, Hermetic, and modern mystical traditions, one truth repeats. Thoth is the keeper of knowledge, the protector of hidden memory, the one who ensures wisdom is preserved until the right time. But why would Thoth guard such records so fiercely? Why not make them open to all? The answer may reveal the very nature of sacred knowledge, and why accessing it requires purity, balance, and intent. If knowledge is power, then imagine the power contained in the Akashic Records, a library not of books, but of everything, every choice, every invention, every secret, every possible future. To open such a vault without preparation would be like handing a child the controls to a starship. This is why Thoth, the master of balance, is always depicted as a guardian. Not to hoard wisdom, but to protect humanity from misusing it before we are ready. The Egyptians understood that truth without balance leads to chaos. Thoth's very role in the Hall of Ma'at shows this. Knowledge alone does not free the soul. Only knowledge aligned with truth, justice, and harmony can. In other words, the records themselves are neutral. It is our intention that decides whether they heal or destroy. Consider this. If someone could peer into the Akashic field without wisdom, they could exploit timelines, manipulate others, or twist sacred knowledge for personal gain. History shows us how dangerous even fragments of hidden knowledge can be in the wrong hands. Now imagine the whole library. That is why Thoth is not only the scribe, but also the gatekeeper. He ensures that the veil is lifted only for those whose hearts are light, who are aligned with Ma'at. Access is not about cleverness, ritual, or even desire. It is about readiness. This idea echoes across many traditions. In the Hermetica, wisdom is only given to the worthy. In mystical teachings, initiation is required before higher truths are revealed. Even in the modern era, seekers like Edgar Cayce stressed that the Akashic field responds to purity of spirit, not curiosity alone. So when we say Thoth guarded the records, we are not imagining a god with a lock and key. We are speaking of a cosmic law that higher truths reveal themselves only to those who can bear their weight. And this is where it touches us directly, because today, more and more people report glimpses of the records in dreams, meditations, or sudden moments of knowing. Could it be that Thoth's guardianship is loosening, and that now is the time humanity is meant to step into this field of memory? For thousands of years, the Akashic Records were whispered about only in temples, initiation chambers, and secret societies. But something has changed. We live in an era where ancient mysteries are resurfacing, as if the veil is thinning. People across the world report dreams that feel like memories of other lives. Others enter meditation and come back with knowledge they never studied, or insights that later prove true. These are not coincidences. They are signs that humanity is brushing against the edges of the records again. And why now? Because Thoth's promise echoes across time, that when humanity reached the brink of forgetting its divine nature, the ancient wisdom would return. We live in an age where technology grows faster than wisdom, where power often outpaces compassion. This imbalance is the very danger Thoth foresaw. The records are not opening to satisfy curiosity. They are opening to restore balance, to remind us that we are more than consumers and machines, that every choice we make echoes in eternity. Thoth's guardianship matters now more than ever, not because he withholds knowledge, but because he teaches us how to use it. The Emerald Tablets warn us that misuse of power brings downfall, while aligned wisdom lifts civilizations into golden ages. This moment in history could go either way. The return of these teachings may be the very lifeline humanity needs to awaken before it slips too far into shadow. The Akashic Records are not just a cosmic archive. They are a mirror. They show us who we have been, but more importantly, who we can still become. So the question is not whether the records exist. The question is, are you ready to remember? And if Thoth stands as guardian, could it be that he is now calling you to step closer, to seek what was once hidden, and to live by the wisdom that shapes destiny itself? The story of Thoth and the Akashic Records is not a tale of the past. It is a living current flowing through our present. Hidden chambers, eternal scrolls, cosmic libraries, all of it points to one truth. Humanity was never meant to wander blind. The wisdom has always been here, waiting for the moment we were ready. But readiness is not about finding a hidden door beneath a pyramid. It's about preparing your own inner temple. The records are opened not by hands, but by consciousness. And Thoth, the eternal scribe, does not simply guard the knowledge, he guides the worthy. Perhaps that is why you are here, listening to this message. Maybe you are feeling the pull, because your soul is ready to remember what it has always known. So, as you leave this video, ask yourself, if the records opened to you tonight, what truth would you be ready to face? And how would you use it to shape the world around you? The flame of Thoth burns still, and it calls to those who dare to awaken. The question is, will you answer?